Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Everyone that's joining in on this fine Sunday. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make a really cool Valentine's gift box. Hello from the Silver Fox. So, this is the idea behind all of this. So, we're going to be using these products, and we're going to be using some surface board from Brutus Monroe. And I want to tell you why this thought process came to be. Okay? So, first and foremost, I purchased a whole bunch of these tumblers, the 13-ounce tumblers, and these are the ones from Sam's Club, but I know you can get these all over the place. They're the larger version of these tumblers, and I wanted to give them away as gifts. Hello, everyone. But the problem is these tumblers are an awkward size for a box. So what I had to do is I had to take some planning into effect. And with that planning, I had to figure out how to make a box like this one. See, this fits, it fits it into it perfectly. But I had to create this box in my mind so that we could use it to put the actual tumbler in and create a lid and things like that. So I'm going to show you today how to do it from scratch. But if you guys would be interested in me creating an SVG for it, let me know below in the comments, and I'll create an SVG because this will fit on a standard mat, the measurements. But I'm also going to show you how to make it a little more fabulous by using Decofoil. And you guys all know how much I love Decofoil. I'm really have been really excited with it lately, and I've been trying it and doing all different things with it. So we're going to be using the transfer gel today, which is offered at brutusmonroe.com, as well as the foils. And then I am also going to be using the surface board. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the surface board comes like this. You'll be needing to use the 12 by 12 size of the surface board. It does come in a 5 by 7 as well, but the 12 by 12 is what you'll need for this project. So it comes in this big pack, and I've been using the surface board to create all sorts of different boxes lately, and that's what surface board is really great to be used for. It can also be used for doing different notebooks and, you know, things like that. So notebooks and little planner books and things like that. So excuse the noise. I just have to open up my surface board pack here, and you do receive 10 sheets of it. So technically you can make, I think 4 or 5 boxes from these sheets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab one piece, and I'm gonna show you the measurements and dimensions just for this specific box. So I want you guys to know that this is just for this specific box. There are other boxes that you can do, but it's just for this specific box size, which is for the for this type of, thank you, Kara, for this type of tumbler. And again, you can get these tumblers everywhere, literally everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tonic, this is the tonic trimmer, and I'm sorry, I can't get the camera up any higher. I could, but I need to get a new part from my rig that's up above. So I hope you guys can get the gist of it. So the very first thing that you do is I'm using the scoring blade, and we're going to score at 1 inch, which the 1 inch mark is right here on my board. Just make sure it's all lined up. And then I use the scoring board because, you know, you can use just a regular Martha Stewart scoring board or something like that. But I love this one because it gives me very good and very specific score marks. And then you're just gonna move down, and let me grab my cheat sheet here, and you are going to score at 4 3/4 from this line. So basically you're going to move this down, shift it down to 4 3/4, okay? And then you're going to score. And then shift it down again, and 4 3/4. And again, this could not be easier. 4 3/4. score again, okay? So now let's do our second board, because we do need 2 boards. And we're going to do the exact same thing. 1 inch. And again, once I create the SVG for this for you, you won't have to do all of this hand scoring. You can just do it on your machine. But I think this is kind of fun. The easiest place to buy the surface board is at the link below. Right at the link below. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the 4 3/4 again, excuse me, and then 4 3/4 again. A question for all of you that are in here right now. If I start doing these lives a little more often, would you guys like for me to put together a bundle of everything that I'm using? Would that help? Maybe at like a 10% or 15% discount, so you guys can just grab everything that I'm using. Would that work for you guys? Just let me know down in the comments below, because we can definitely do that. So next, the height of this box needs to be 8.5 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to score. Let me open up my scoreboard here. So we could bundle everything together so that it makes it easier and you can just grab the bundle. So let me open up my scoreboard, and now we're going to score it at 8.5. Which on my scoreboard there's arrows that point to 8.5, because that's a standard US size sheet of paper to all of my US folks. So I'm going to go ahead and score that one. Then I'm going to go down and score this one at the 8.5. Okay, score. Now we're going to need the lid. Okay, so the only way to know the lid size for this, and let me get these two together in the right spots so that I can cut those for you and show you how you cut them. So the lid, I'm going to show you here. So the lid, let me pull this out of the way. The lid has to be a little bit bigger than the actual box, okay? So what we'll do is we will take a ruler and we'll measure the top of the box. So I already have this measured, but you can see here, whoops, not metric. So this is about 5 inches. So we're going to actually make it 5 inches because it's under 5. So we're going to cut this at 5 inches, but we need to have a lip all the way around. So let me show you my engineering of it all. So this is the lid that I created from scratch so that we could, I do love that paper trimmer. So this is what my tester was. So this is the 5-inch square, and then I've added 2 inches to that number. Now the reason that I did that is because the 2 inches is necessary because of the 2 inches on either side. So whatever size you want to make your box lid, so I hope that this is making sense. Whatever size you want to make your box lid, you have to add 2 inches, or in the case of the one that I did the other day, and I'll show you that one here in a moment because it's already done. So through the magic of video, you can see that it's already done, so we didn't have to wait for it to muddle through. But I added 2 inches on either side, so it was a bigger lip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of our surface board, and this time we have to grab our trimmer to cut it with. So I'm going to use the Cricut trimmer because it's the one that is closest to me. But of course, you can use whatever trimmer that you have. Let me pop this guy out. So this is going to need to be cut down. This is going to actually need to be cut to 9 inches. So I hope that makes sense because you're adding 2 inches all the way around. So that would be 4 plus 5 equals 9. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this 9 by 9. And again, I could create detailed instructions for you guys, but you could just rewatch this video over and over again, and we can make boxes all the time. I just will be pre-recorded, but pretend that I'm live when we're remaking the boxes together. So now I'm going to grab my trimmer again, or my scorer trimmer that I'm using, and we're going to score this one at 2 inches all the way around. So 2 inches here, spin it, then 2 inches here, and again we're just doing the lid now. Spin it, 2 inches here, spin it, and then 2 inches here. Okay, so now you'll see you have kind of a wonky looking grid type of a sort of a situation. Thank you, Myra. A wonky type of a kind of a grid type of a situation. But I'll show you what we're going to do with this right now, because what we'll do is we'll go, I don't want to jump back and forth, so we'll take care of the lid now, and then I will show you how to do the actual base, because there is a little bit of cutting that goes into doing the base of the piece as well. So I'm just going to grab my scissors, and what we're going to do is you are going to start with one of these lines. So do you see those lines there? See that line? You're going to start with this line, okay? And you're going to cut up to the score line. It's just basic box making. So now we have a flap. Then you spin it, and whatever line is facing you to your right, that's the one you're going to cut next, okay? Then we spin it. We cut the next line. And then we spin it. And we cut the last line. Okay? So now we have all of these flappy-doos. See all the flaps? Now what you're going to do is you're going to do that same thing, but you're going to cut a tiny little notch in here. Let me show you what I mean. So you're going to take it and you're going to cut up to here. See how you now have a notch there? Same thing on this side. Cut up to that line. There we now have another notch. And this just helps with the bulk when you're putting the lid together. Same thing. We have a notch. Spin it. And now we have our fourth and final notch. So when I put that down, that's probably going to look like a very familiar box lid that you've seen in the past. And that took us maybe 5 seconds, okay? Maybe 5 seconds. So now you can see probably what we're going to do with this box lid, okay? So let me put this to the side for a moment. And now I'm going to bring back our box sides, okay? And I'm going to need my trimmer for this because we're going to trim off a piece. So if you're using the 12 by 12, this piece on the rightmost side, and you can see those score lines there, hopefully. This one to the rightmost side, the larger piece, not the 1-inch piece that we did, but the larger piece on the right, we're going to cut that entire piece off, okay? That entire piece can go. We don't need it. So I'm just using my trimmer, and now that whole piece is gone. Do you see that? So let's move this to the side, and we're going to do that one more time, because we have 2 of them, okay? One more time, go ahead, cut that off. Don't need it, okay? So now I can take my trimmer away because I can use my scissors for this part. So now we have 2 identical pieces that have been scored, right? 2 identical pieces that have been scored. Now what we want to do is on the left-hand side, this piece here, down at the bottom, we don't need it. So we're going to go with our scissors. If you would like to use a scoreboard, a trimmer, because that makes you more comfortable, you can. For me, I just cut this notch out quickly. It's quicker for me to get this cut out than it would be for me to grab the trimmer, to tell you the truth. So now we have this notch out of the bottom. We're going to do the exact same thing with this one. And again, once the SVG is created, you'll be able to just grab this SVG and cut this box out. But for me, when I was kind of engineering how the box would work, this is how I did it. I did it all by hand, so I could figure out how the whole thing would work. So now, we have 2 identical pieces with these notches out. What we're going to do is we're just going to cut a little triangle off on both sides. And if you guys have made boxes before, you probably can see what I'm getting at. So cut those 2 triangles off. Cut these 2 triangles off. And again, however you want to do that angle is up to you. Cut both of those triangles off. We'll put that stuff down to the floor for later. And now we have 2 identical pieces that look like this. Are you guys all still with me? I'll wait to see in the chat. Are you still with me, folks? I hope so. Okay, I hope that wasn't too confusing. Now, what you also need to do, and I do this part later, so I'll show you this part when we get over to the other pieces. You're going to cut this line too, but we'll do that later because I'll show you what we're going to do next because this is the super duper fun part. So, let me grab my lid, and we'll start with the lid. and then we'll move on to the pieces. If you guys have never used the Decofoil gel before, oh my word, are you in for a treat today. So I'm going to take one of the Brutus Monroe stencils. This is our Jagged Heart stencil, which is one of my absolute favorites, which is why it was not retired, because I could not let this guy go. I really wanted to keep the Jagged Heart, so we were able to for one more year. So the Jagged Heart, and then you're going to take your Decofoil transfer gel. Okay, this is almost like a frosting, and what you're going to do is you're going to go all around your box. So take this, take your little palette knife, which you can also get from BrutusMonroe.com. You actually get a whole set of them. And that's why I'm thinking this whole bundle idea would be awesome, because then you can just go in, you can grab the bundle, you get everything you need for this project that's live, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So the one thing that I don't want you to worry about is don't worry about going over the creases. Don't worry about going over the score lines. That is not going to hurt anything. The transfer gel is a very flexible, very, very beautiful, beautiful consistency. So once it's dry, it will flex. So you don't have to worry about it, you know, not flexing for you when you're going in and you're actually you know, putting the box together. So let's go ahead, and now you'll see, let me lift up this corner, we have hearts. Isn't that cool? But the magic is going to happen in a second that I'll show you, the real magic. So let's go ahead and just add more of this transfer gel. And I promise you, you are all going to want this transfer gel as soon as I show you how well it works with the Surface board. Because this box, I'll tell you right now, this box, if you would get it at one of the, you know, the beautiful stationery retailers, this box would be easily $12.99. If not more, probably $14.99. Because I have seen boxes like the way this one will turn out once we're all done for that price point. Again, if not more, because of the raised effect that you get. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go all the way across. Now you can do these lips too if you would like, which I did on the one that I'm going to show you that's finished. But we are going to do it on this one for the sake of, oh, heck, let's do it on this one. We'll do it real quick. Do you guys mind if I just put some transfer gel on the bottom here real quick? I don't think you guys will mind. Hopefully not. So I'm just going to add a little bit of gel on that lip there. And then we're going to add some on the upper portion. You could cover it with thin fabric. Absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. So now we'll flip this guy around. You could even use heavy fabric if you'd like. It's about 160 to 180 weight is the Surface board. It's like a chipboard, but it's a chipboard that can be embossed. So that's one of the super important properties of the chipboard or the Surface board that we created, so that you can emboss it. So you can emboss this box as well if you'd like, if you do a smaller box. Okay, so there is the lid of our box. So there's the top of our box. Let me wipe this off on my apron. Okay, so there's the top of the box. So let's move this out of the way. And now let's grab one of the sides. We're not going to do all of the sides, but let's grab one of the sides. Remember, this is the bottom of our box, where this score line is the bottom. So now we're just going to take this, and we will do the same thing with the transfer gel. Now, I do it very quickly. You might want to take your time a little bit. I've just done lots of transfer gelling since it came out. I mean, I've gone through, oh my goodness, I'm ashamed to admit how many jars of transfer gel I have gone through since this was first introduced, because I just can't get enough of it. Because when you see, oh my word, and this is something that you make all your boxes up, then you put them all out on the table, and you just frost the cakes, is what I say. Just frost all the cakes. Okay, so now we're going to move this over. Do the same thing. Plop some down there, and just frost the cupcakes. And you're just going to keep on frosting. And to tell you the truth, there's something very therapeutic about this frosting type of a technique. I don't know what it is, but it's very calming. And I mean, it's wonderful to do a whole bunch of these at one time. And then your special gift boxes are all done. Okay, so I'm just going to take the excess. That's the best part of this, is you can take the excess off. You have tons left over. You put it back in the jar. And then there you go. So there's your next hearts. Okay? Isn't that cool? And I can't wait till you see what happens. That's the coolest part. So let me move this out of the way. And then always clean your stencil. What I do is I keep a little bin of water right next to me. And that allows me to hurry up and pop the stencil in a bin of water until I can get to the sink. So now I'm going to close up my transfer gel. I'm also going to put my palette knife in that little trough as well. Move this out of the way. So let's take a look at what it looks like when it's finished, shall we? Okay. Let's take a look at what it looks like when it's finished. So this is what it looks like when it's dry. Do you see that there? That's what it looks like when it's dry. And then here is the second one and the lid. So it has a really cool, and it dries pretty quickly, a really cool look to it. Okay? That's how you know when it's dry. Yes. You need to let the transfer gel dry before you apply foil. Very good question, Kara. So this is what it looks like before the transfer gel dries, and this is what it looks like when it dries. Okay? So now are you all ready for the magic? I know I am. Are you all ready for the magic? I'm going to take out my Royal Savern laminator. And the only reason I'm using this laminator is because it's a large, wide format. So I can put the whole thing in at one time. Then I'm going to grab my red Decofoil. And we're going to run this through. Okay? We're going to run it through with the Decofoil. Now, I don't use a carrier sheet with this because of how thick the surface board is. You can if you want to. Don't let me stop you from using a carrier sheet, but I do not personally. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this area, see where all of that is, and where all of that transfer gel was, okay? You're going to take a piece of your transfer foil, which again, we also sell at Brutus Monroe. You'll place that right on top of there, okay? And then you'll insert it into your machine. Okay? Make sure it's covering that area and insert it into your machine. Do you see it going through the machine? I hope you guys can see that. And the beauty of this laminator too is it allows a full sheet to go through, if that makes sense. Okay? So we're just going to wait one moment for this to go through, and you'll see it feeding through on the other side. And there's a little bit of toner residue on here, but that's okay. That's the toner residue from when I, whenever I put the toner sheets through without a carrier sheet. So that's what happens if you put a toner sheet through without the carrier sheet. But that's okay, because it's not going to hurt anything. The hearts will still be beautiful. And of course, we're going to most likely just add a little bit of a ribbon across the top anyway. So that doesn't hurt a thing. Yes, the laminator is my favorite way to foil. Okay, so now let's pop the next one in. And again, don't worry about that top part. That's what happens, and I'm glad that actually happened so you could see that. Do not put toner sheets into your laminator without a carrier sheet. I was making a whole bunch of items the other day, and I didn't put a carrier sheet in, and that's what happens. Could you use a heat press? I have seen where people have used a dry iron, so I would say yes. You can use a dry iron. You could probably use a heat press too. I mean, heat press, I don't believe the heat press has steam either, because you can use this same material, you know, if you're doing like fabric and stuff like that. So, and you can see all that toner is no longer there. I just had to run it through the machine to get rid of that toner situation. And now with this one, I'm just gonna run through 2 sheets. And it's okay if they're stacked on top of each other. It's not going to hurt anything. and I can't wait for the big reveal. Yeah, lower temperature. I mean, this probably, I don't know the exact temperature this gets to on high, but, you know, I'm sure that that's something that can be Googled. And the big reveal is my absolute favorite part. So that's going to be happening in a couple of seconds here. Let me just run my last piece of the box through. And again, this is the lid. And then I'm going to show you how to very quickly and very easily assemble the box. So let me just make sure all of this is in the right spot here. Then we're going to send the lid through. Okay. And there we go. The lid is on its way through. And again, if you want to use a carrier sheet, by all means do. They suggest the carrier sheet. But for me, I have, you know, had luck with the Surface board without the carrier sheet, but don't let, you know, me influence you to not use a carrier sheet, because the carrier sheet, you know, is important in most cases. But for me with the Surface board, because of how thick the Surface board is, I didn't need the carrier sheet. But like I said, don't let me persuade you either way to not use the carrier sheet, because the carrier sheet is, you know, is important when putting it through the laminator, because you want to protect your project essentially. Like for instance, if I had the carrier sheet with that first box that I put through, we would not have had that toner come off on it. Okie dokie, artichokes. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this guy out now, and move the laminator off to the side, and just make sure that we got good adhesion to all of these. So are you guys ready for the big reveal? Are you guys ready? Is anyone ready for the big reveal? It's hard because with Periscope a carrier sheet comes with the toner sheets. It's just a piece of parchment. Just a piece of parchment, that's all. And you can use any parchment. That's all it is. Okay, ready? Oh my goodness gracious. You can see where I got a little bit of the transfer gel that I was trying to rub off. That's okay. Here is what we have. Now this, my friends, would be a very expensive box that you would get at the store. So there's one. Now let's reveal all the others, shall we? Here's the one that I got the toner at the top, which is okay. Oh my goodness. Every time. Every time. And the best part is, I want you to see this, because I'm hoping you can see, this is coming up on camera. Look at the texture. Do you see that texture that's still in there? That's the best part. That's what makes this a super expensive looking box, right? Okay, so let's move this out of the way. And now let's do the lid. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every time. Look at that. Oh my goodness. My goodness gracious. Okay, so now let's put the box together. Are you ready? So, at the bottom here, that line that I told you, you do want to cut that line all the way up to the top. Well, all the way up to the score line, not all the way to the top, I'm sorry. So now, let's go ahead and cut this guy as well. Okay, now let's assemble the box. So now that we're ready to go, all we do is we take our score lines. Remember I told you? Look how flexible that is. It looks like it was manufactured that way. See that? So many possibilities. Okay, then we fold up this line here. Now this one, I didn't cut the little triangles yet, and I did that on purpose, so you can see that even once you score it, you can, or once you fold it, you can still cut those. Do you see that? You can still cut those. So now let's do the same thing on this one. We're gonna fold up our score. Gonna fold this score line. And we're gonna cut our triangles. You can cut them on either side, doesn't matter. Cutting our triangles here. There we go. 2 triangles. And now we're going to assemble these 2 pieces. So all you do to assemble them is you flip this flap over. Uh-oh, we got transfer gel on the side of it. That's okay, there must have been some on the table. Or I must have set it on something where there were transfer gel. Oh, I know where I set it. I set it over there. That's okay. Fold this flap over, okay? And this is just the same exact way that our kids' meal box die works. So you fold this end over, okay? And then you're going to grab, I'm going to use ATG. You can use whatever you would like. And I'm going to flip it over this way, add ATG to it within 1 inch of its life. And also at Brutus Monroe, I bet you guys didn't know this, in the marketplace now at Brutus Monroe, we now carry ATG refills. And the best part of that is, if you are a member of the Stamp Club, you get 10% off of your everyday marketplace orders as well. So you can get 10% off of your refills. So now you just pop that down. You see how that worked? Pop that down, so now you have one big piece, okay? One big piece, okay? Now you're gonna take this portion up here and you're gonna add ATG to that as well. Whatever your favorite adhesive is. If you would like to use glue, you can. The Brutus Monroe glue would work beautifully on this because it is a quicker drying adhesive and it's very sturdy. So now all you're gonna do, now this is a quick trick, so I want you to watch. You're gonna flip this part over here. Let me fix that glue. Flip this part over here and just close it. That's all you're gonna do. And now watch. Oh, you might want to press it down, Christopher. You're gonna press it down to make sure that it's firmly on there. But now watch. We have our box. Okay. So now for the bottom of the box, which is going to be very high here, all you're going to do is fold these 2 pieces in, which have already been scored. Fold those 2 pieces in. Fold this piece down. Okay. And then you're going to take this piece and fold that down as well. Just make sure that this piece here has a whole bunch of glue on it, or a whole bunch of adhesive. ATG, glue, whatever you would like. And you can completely cover this one in ATG or glue, because this is basically what's going to be keeping it together, okay? So now you're going to fold this piece up here, okay? And then you're going to push your box down, okay? And you're going to grab, I would say, a ruler, okay? And you're just going to push down like this on the table. You're going to push down to make sure it all sticks together. You can also put glue in this piece here, but I've noticed that it needs a little bit of give, so I don't glue that part as well. And now your box is done. You're just gonna fold it a little bit, zhuzh it a bit, and then look at how beautiful that box is. Who wouldn't want to receive something in there? I know I would want to. All right, so now let's do the lid. The lid is even easier. Are you ready for the lid? Okay. So now you take the lid, and all you're gonna do, flip it over and fold on all of your score marks. Fold up, fold up, fold up, fold in, fold in. And I think you guys will get the gist of what this is. Fold in and fold in, okay? And now on each of these flaps, you want to put adhesive on this side. So let me just add a little bit of adhesive. And I learned the hard way that you want to do all of this first and not try to put it back down once half of it's 3D. Okay? And then we just fold around the mulberry bush is what I call it. You're just folding around the mulberry bush. So you lift and fold in. And just make sure that those 2 pieces line up. See that there? Fold around the mulberry bush. In and up. Okay? Ready? Next. In and up. All around the mulberry bush. And then same for this one. In and up. And now we have our lid. Isn't that pretty? And then what you do is you take your box and you put on your lid. Do you guys love that as much as I do? I hope you do. I hope you do. Now look at that box, and we made it out of surface board. Isn't that beautiful? You add a little bit of ribbon around it, and this is the best part. So let me grab my tumbler that we talked about at the beginning. Let me grab my tumbler. Hold on. This is the most difficult part of this whole project, is opening up the tumbler box. Okay. Let me open up my tumbler. Okay, let me put the other tumblers on the floor here. Let me make sure I turn off my laminator. That's important. And now watch. Open up your box. You put your tumbler in. You put a little bit of, obviously some crinkle paper or something in there, and there you go. Your box is all done. And then you give this as a gift. Okay, so that's the box for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this project. I'm really excited about the possibilities of what we can do with the surface board boxes, and you will see a whole bunch of surface board boxes soon because I am just having too much fun putting them together. So that's it. That's everything for today. I also wanted to show you very quickly our brand new, yes, Kara, you guys, a lot of you guys asked about our new die cuttable felt the other day. So I want to show you it again because it's now available on the website. And these are all the colors that you get. So here's a few of the colors here. And then you also get all of these colors, and the one on top you'll see I've already die cut out. You get 40 pieces for $29.99. 40 pieces of felt. And there's only a couple left because it seems like a lot of you have been kind of scoping out the website waiting for it to go live. And I have this here because I wanted to show you how beautifully it cuts out with our dies. So let me grab another one here. This is a beautiful, beautiful blue. So let me grab this, and I'll show you real quick how it gets cut out. So let's go here, grab my black Cuttlebug, and we'll run this through real quick because I still have my die here from earlier because I was showing my mom how this felt works, and she was really excited about it. And she doesn't even craft, so that's really cool. So we're just going to position this on here and zip it through. And if you hear all that cracking, that's good. What I do is I'll run it through again. And then flip it around and run it through one more time because the rollers are a little bit different on every machine. Sorry about the shaking. I've got to get my overhead stand back. Okay, we'll put this back into my new compartment underneath. Grab this, and you'll see it literally falls right out. How cool is that? And you, again, get lots of felt. Lots of felt with this configuration, and it's beautiful. Imagine this on a card. Just the texture. It's just, I love the texture. And again, it's a special felt that's made for die cutting. So it makes it super easy for you to be able to die cut. And then here's our two colors so far. And this is going to probably end up being put on a board so everyone can see what colors we have in the store. Yes, perfect for banners. And we have tested this multiple times with the Cricut Maker. So if you have the Cricut Maker, $29.99 for a pack of 40 colors of felt, I think is pretty awesome. So that's everything that I have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for being a part of my life and for tuning in. I adore each and every one of you. It has been wonderful spending this Sunday afternoon with you, and I can't wait to show you guys some goodies that are coming for the upcoming Creativation show. We will be there. Our booth number is in the 700s. I can't remember the exact booth number, but we're right by my dear friend Catherine Poehler and our friends at Heffy Doodle, right across from Contact Crafts. There's a bunch of us in that area, so I'm really excited to see everyone there. And if you are one of the folks that are coming to Creativation, please stop by and say hello to us in the Brutus Monroe booth. I would just absolutely love that. But other than that, we should be back at some point this week. We are going to be chatting about some other different lives and some different things that we're going to be doing. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, like I said, you guys are great. Thank you for joining me this Sunday, and I will talk to all of you soon. And until then, remember to always create your own ending. Goodbye, my friends.